Hi, welcome back to another session on Jamboard. Today, what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you another way that you can use the Jamboard, and that is how I use it in the classroom. Now, I can't necessarily show you my student work, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to show you some things that I did with teachers the other day in another Jamboard session, just so you can see what I did with my students. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one up. And you'll notice here that there are different features that we did here. Here's the post-it notes. Someone rotated this. We practiced drawing our lines. Here's an image. That's my logo for my organization. Here's a picture of a chocolate bar. So these are different things that you can do. You can put an image in, have students go ahead and identify pieces. And these students here were putting sticky notes next to the part they were going to be describing. Another way that I actually use this is I will go ahead and use the grid paper feature in the back. And I had people put their names in. So with some students, we were looking at surface area. So they put their names in and they could make this as big or small as they wanted. But then their job after this was I said, okay, count up all the yellow ones and how much surface area is that taking up if each one of these squares were 1 inch by 1 inch. And so we did an exercise that way. We can also do an exercise in here where you're sorting. So in this next one here, I usually will have a column and we'll sort in some cases. So say students want to upload pictures and they want to sort things on left and right. Sometimes I'll give them directions also. I'll tell them, please put your name and then say something about the particular topic we're talking about. So in this case, I think the topic was the pros and cons of a vegan diet. So I might put this. So again, the student puts their name in and they might put information. If they wanted to, they might want to put it near the picture that they uploaded and shared. So that's one way that you do that. I'll set up a grid for the students so that they can graph. So if I wanted to take a little bit more time here and I wanted to make this a graph again, of course, there's this graph also. I can actually try to draw this right on the lines, and this can be a mathematics problem. So if I wanted to create a problem for them to graph, I could, using my fabulous writing skills here, ask them to graph that, right? And then the students can go in and graph this. This could be a problem set that I send out to all the students in my classroom because I do use Google Classroom also. This one here I did in advance. So I uploaded a bunch of pictures of flowers. And in this particular lesson, I had students organizing by particular features of the flowers and characteristics. So this one was by color. The next one I had them sorting by petal count. And the next one I had them sorting by shape. So this is a way for students to interact with each other during the class. So they would take the select tool, they would move it around. Sometimes what I would do is I would have the students write notes to me. So they could then activate the sticky tool and write a note and say, we think these are pink and violet to be grouped, or something, a note to me about the activity that they just did. And sometimes they'll have group names, and so they'll put it next to the particular feature there, right? So that's something else that I do with them. Other things I do is sometimes I will just ask them to put out their ideas on a board, and they can draw on here, they can upload pictures, they can put whatever they want on this particular one. I had an English teacher share this with me, and this was interesting. This was a writing exercise where the student was writing, today I was so, and then they had to insert pictures to describe their story. So I was so, I think this is tired. I think it was because it was so hot. I think my mom said it was 96 degrees. So what if you have worked so hard on a Jamboard and you've set it up just the way you wanted to set it up? And you want students to either work on this assignment on their own. Maybe you have a whole series of assignments you want them to graph. Maybe you have a whole series of these prompts you want them to do. Maybe you just have a whole bunch of things you want them to organize on their own without working in a group. Well, you can do that. And one way you can do that is you can click on these three and you can make a copy of your Jamboard and send it out to everyone. So if you hit make a copy, it will tell you to make a copy, and then you can send that out. but then you're sending out the same one to everyone. Well, instead of doing that, what you can do is, if you don't have a Google Classroom, which I'm not going to get into right now, but if you don't have a Google Classroom set up, what you can do is, in the URL, take away the word viewer and everything else after it and replace it with the word copy. Now, if you were to copy this entire URL and you sent that to all of your students, what that does is, I'm going to hit return here. This is what your students are going to see. Would you like to make a copy of, maybe this is called assignment number 2, September, and they'll say make a copy. And what that's going to do is, it's going to make a copy of your Jamboard in their Drive folder. And when they're ready, after they've gone through all the assignments and they've completed the tasks, they can share that back to you and share that back to anyone that they want to, actually. But then they can share it back to you so you can take a look at that. So that's one way that you can go ahead and share your Google Jamboards with students after you've worked on it, so hard. So I hope you have a good time with Jamboard and have a good day.